Good morning, students. This is Sheila Tiwari here, your English teacher. Today, we are going to take up the lesson, The 100 Dresses, Part 1. You see, there are different kind of people in our society. And how do we judge them? How would you judge your people in the surrounding? Can you tell me? We judge them by their dresses, we judge them by their money, by their property, by their belongings, and our attitude towards these people depends on their money, their wealth, their possessions. And do we ever think that there are certain other qualities which are more enduring and we should give value to them? No. But my dear children, the wealth, the money, the property, these things are valuable, no doubt. But apart from these, there are certain things that are more valuable that we hardly bother about. They are long lasting. These are the qualities in a human being, the qualities of a person, which are very, very important. In the first part of the story, what we see? We see Amanda, a girl who is poor, and the children of her class taunt on her. They comment on her for her dresses. Many a times you laugh at your friends, you make fun of them in the classrooms or people in your neighborhood. But this is not wise. Wanda is the girl who keeps on quiet sitting in the corner of the room without disturbing other girls. But yet, the other friends of the class, without knowing what they are doing, how they are hurting her, they keep on taunting upon her. As a result, what happens? She is quiet, very quiet. Wanda is a quiet girl. She doesn't talk with her friends. She lived in Bogging Heights and belonged to a poor family. That was the problem. She wore the same blue dress every day. She didn't have many dresses to wear like other children. Peggy and Maddie were good friends and teased Wanda every day. Teased Wanda every day. Just imagine about, unlike some of you in the classrooms. You do, it's a common thing. So, Wanda had no friends and girls used to make fun with her. Wanda claimed of having 100 dresses and 60 pairs of shoes. Peggy was not really a cruel girl. She loved children and animals also. Peggy would say why Wanda had spoken of her 100 dresses. So just imagine, they thought that this girl was having only one dress that she wore every day, and that was the cause of indifference. No doubt these girls were not cruel, but they didn't realize that we are born to the people sent by God, rich or poor. It is not in our hands. But later on, when you grow up and do something in your life, that depends on your work, your hard work, your ability. So there is nothing to be proud of being born to a rich family. That is because of your luck. But there are children who are born to poor families, but later on they rise to very good posts, and they prove their worth. This is what we see in the lesson. Peggy would say why Wanda had spoken in her 100 dresses. Maddie herself, a poor girl, did not like to tease Wanda but remained mum, but though herself on Wanda's place. Many a times you see some children are looked down upon, but you do not support. In your heart of hearts, you love them. In your heart of hearts, you know that something wrong is done to them. This is bad to teach girls or boys or whoever who do not have the property or dresses or the riches. You can't do that. After all, you are sent by God to a family of rich or poor, which is not in our hands. Your birth is not in our hands. But later on, if you do not succeed in your life, that is just only and only because of you. Later on, if you are laughed at, then it's okay. Because you couldn't succeed, because you couldn't work hard, you couldn't become rich, or you couldn't hold a high post. But laughing at your friends in the classrooms or anywhere just because they do not have riches and property is not good. So here we see Wanda, the poor girl. She becomes very quiet. But what happens later? There was a drawing competition for every boy and girl in the class. Everybody expected Peggy to win. There were 100 sketches of dresses, beautifully drawn by Wanda in the classroom. Miss Mason, the teacher, the class teacher, announced the winner. Jack Bagels won among the boys and Wanda among the girls. Wanda was absent, but everybody clapped for her. Peggy and Maddie identified the blue dress. Just imagine about. No doubt, Wanda was poor, but she has proved her worth. She has done well. She has stood first in the drawing competition, and that was her identity. So, my dear children, do not ever try to laugh at the people who do not have riches like you or who do not have the status as yours. Later on, they may prove to be much better than you. This is the time when the students should form their identity. They should work hard and see that they also do good in their life. So, what we see in the lesson, there are certain questions which are very, very important. The story is sensitive. It is a sensitive account of how a poor young girl is judged by her classmates. Wanda Petrusky is a young Polish girl who goes to school with other American children in an American school. It is an American town. These other children see Wanda as different in many ways, and that you have to find out in what ways was she different. She was very quiet. Why was she quiet? Because she was not equally taken up by her friends. She was neglected, she was laughed at. And then we see about the Polish American community in the United States. The first Polish immigrants arrived in America in 1608, but the largest wave of Polish immigration occurred in the early 20th century when more than 1 million Poles migrated to the United States. The Polish state did not exist at the time, and the immigrants were identified accordingly to their country of origin rather than to ethnicity. They were identified as Russian Poles, German Poles, and Austrian Poles. One of the most notable Polish American communities is in Chicago and its suburbs. So, Chicago is sometimes called the second largest Polish city in the world. Newly, next to it is Warsaw, the capital of Poland. Polish American were sometimes discriminated against in the United States, as were the Irish, Italians, and Jews. So just imagine about this was a result of their belonging to these cities as immigrants. They had arrived to America. So that was also one reason why these families was not equally treated. They were neglected, they were looked down upon. As you have seen in Africa, the blacks, the condition of the blacks. So we can say that was also one reason why Amanda was not equally treated in her classrooms. Okay, there are certain questions you can see here. In what way was Wanda different from other children? In what way was she different? She was different from other children. She did not have any friends. She came to school alone and went home alone. She always wore a faded blue dress that did not fit her properly. Unfitted dress she used to wear, and she used to wear a single dress that had faded. Faded means become old, lost its color. So that was also one reason why she was different in the class. She was not equally treated. Did Wanda have 100 dress? Why do you think she said she did? No, no. She did not have 100 dress. Because she was poor and wore the same faded dress to school every day, she had an inferiority complex. In order to hide the complex and impress the other girls, she always said that she had 100 dress. She exaggerated this, maybe because she did not want others to make fun of her. She didn't want that. And that's why she always said that she had 100 dresses, okay? Because the girls used to laugh at her, though she didn't have them. Then there is another question. Why is little Maddie embarrassed by the question Peggy asked Wanda? Is she also like Wanda, or is she different? Yes. Maddie was embarrassed because Peggy asked Wanda the same question every day. And she also belonged to the same class. But she didn't dare to go against Peggy. She didn't dare to go against Peggy. She understood the problem of Wanda. She was equally like her, but she couldn't go against Peggy. This happens in the classroom, children. Do not ever bear the wrong things done in front of you. If you want to do something good, be bold. Face the challenges of your life. Do not allow anybody to torture anyone or treat anyone badly. If you stand against, stand against. Do not allow any friend to be treated that way as Wanda was treated in the classroom by Peggy and other children. And Maddie, though she was also poor, but she couldn't stand against Peggy. She couldn't dare to stand against Peggy. And that's why she used to join the teasing. Now, there are certain other questions that you can answer. How is Wanda seen as different by other girls? How do they treat her? So you have seen how they treat her. They tease her. They also talk about 100 dresses, ask about the 100 dresses, as she said. But what was the need of exaggeration? There are certain children who exaggerate. I have this, I have that, I have that. So that makes others to laugh at you. The truth is the reality of the person. Even if you do not have all these things, what is the harm? Nobody is going to feed you. Nobody is going to give you the dresses. So what is the wrong in accepting that I don't have it? If I don't have, I don't have. So, what do you learn here? in this story, in the first part of the story. Wanda was a poor girl. She was a police girl. She had migrated to United States. She had very less clothes, especially one blue cloth that had already faded. She used to wear. She was quite confident. She had stopped talking to her friends in the classroom because they didn't deserve it. She was engaged in studying all her own, but she has proved good, very good in the drawing competition, standing first. And where did she live? She lived in the Bogging Heights. It seems that it is a place far away from the school, and the fact that her shoes used to be covered with mud whenever she used to come. She had to walk. She came from the colony of slums, perhaps. Perhaps she came from the colony of slums, the slum area. And now, why did Peggy and Maddie notice Wanda's absence? You know, she was noticed also. Whenever she didn't come, all were shocked because she was the laughing stock in the classroom. Her presence, her absence, it was not only the presence, but her absence was also felt by the whole class. This shows that she was a substance of importance. She deserved that. Wanda deserved that. And this was the best quality in Wanda. If a person has good qualities in him or her, they are wanted, they are needed, their absence is felt. And that's what happened. When and why Peggy and Maddie noticed Wanda's absence? Peggy and Maddie noticed Wanda's absence after 3 days, that is on Wednesday, because they wanted to be with her for a lot of fun. They wanted to be with her for making fun of her, to have fun. Whenever they made fun of her, they used to get a lot of fun. Even doing wrong things also, people get fun. For fun's sake only, they do it. Especially children, without understanding what wrong, what harm they are doing to the other, they involve themselves in such activities in the classroom. My dear children, this is very hurting. Sometimes we also call it bullying. Children, yes, in a way it is bullying. That you trouble the other children in the classroom and you do not understand that. It is only and only for the sake of fun you do it. And that's what these children did it. What do you understand to have with fun means? To have fun with, what do you understand this? Yes? Wanda was a quiet and shy girl. Because of her looks and dirty feel, these girls used to make fun of her. Here, to have fun with her means that they like to tease Wanda. They like to tease Wanda. This gave them a lot of pleasure. This teasing of Wanda gave them a lot of pleasure, and that's why they involved themselves in making fun of Wanda. So these things are very, very bad, my dear children. What do we see here? The difficult words where the language is very simple and easy to understand. I think all of you will understand if you give a good reading. So give a good reading to the story and try not to judge people by their property, by their money, by their wealth, because these things are transitory. They don't remain with you all the time. You do not know when this wealth will be lost. But your ability, your knowledge is your power. Your talent is your power. Nourish it. Do good and see that the world is at your feet. Deserve it first. Thank you. Have a nice day. Today you note down the difficult words, write down their meaning, consulting a dictionary, and tomorrow we'll discuss the questions, the difficult questions that you did not understand. Okay? Have a nice day.
This is a watermark.